For a vast majority of Saints fans attending Sunday's game against the Giants, the first home game since Hurricane Ida, there's going to be a lot of differences from when they were in that building the last time, including how those field level bunkers, but also how to get in games on your smartphone, and also the cashless system that's in the Superdome moving forward. Joining us now, Jenn Martindale, Vice President of Brand Strategy for the Saints and Pelicans. Jenn, how are you?
Hey, I'm well. Thank you guys for having me on. You
guys excited to be back in your home stadium?
We are so excited. I mean, week one was weird putting on a home game in someone else's stadium. Thankfully, that game worked out quite all right for us, but we're excited to get back home.
So what are fans going to experience that's new this year? And because the pandemic weren't able to hold crowds last year, I should say. So what's going to be new to them?
There's going to be a few things that we want them to know coming in on Sunday because, to your point, so many of them haven't been in the Dome for, some maybe haven't been in for 20 months. Mobile ticketing is the biggest shift. The Saints are now 100% mobile for ticketing. Thankfully, we tested that out last year, and in fact, we're rated number one in the NFL for the mobile ticketing experience because our fans found it so easy and convenient. But if folks haven't used our mobile ticketing before, we need them to keep in mind that they'll need to open a SeatGeek account. SeatGeek is the Saints' official ticketing platform. And if you're a season ticket holder, you'll want to link your SeatGeek account to your Saints account so that all your tickets show up in the right places. It may sound hard. It's very quick and easy, and the Saints ticket sales and service staff is always standing by to help you all with that. So it's much easier. You get to the stadium, you just present your ticket right on your mobile phone and head in. So that's the biggest change. Another thing to keep in mind is that our goal is always to get folks into the Dome and into their seats as quickly as possible so that they don't miss a minute of the action. And we've been studying this for years and looking at how people come into the building. This year, everyone's mobile ticket will actually have a recommended entry gate listed on it. We recognize that a lot of our fans have habits and rituals on game day, and that might even include that they like to enter through a specific door. But if they want the quickest route in, we do encourage them to enter through the suggested gate.
Yeah, some fans are superstitious where they feel like, hey, I got to go in this gate. That's what I've been doing.
Right.
But that's I get it. You guys have done a good job of cutting down some of the bottlenecks.
We're trying, yes.
Jenn, one of the things I was asked about, two things asked about. One, the gates will open at 10 because we see a lot of people sort of milling around. When we were doing the outside pregame show, a lot of people, man, they got to open it quicker. And then all of a sudden, everybody kind of crowds around from about 11:15 up until 11:45. So 10 a.m. is still going to be the time that the gates open, correct?
Correct. And we're excited that Champion Square is back this season as well. So that'll be open starting at 9. Right. And that, to your point, is what usually causes that crush at the end is when Champion Square starts to close down, everyone makes their way to the stadium.
Also,
so
too,
you're
about
that.
Also, too, not to mean to cut you off, but about the purses and the clear purses, that's still in effect.
It is still in effect. So we don't want anyone turned away at the gate. We really encourage people to pack lightly, go to the Saints website or the Caesars Superdome website to get the specific information on what bags are allowed. Another thing we want people to keep in mind, which you all mentioned in the intro, is that the Caesars Superdome is now a cashless venue. So this applies to both the stadium and Champion Square. So if someone wants to buy food or something to drink from a concession stand, or they want to buy some Saints swag from the team store, they'll need to pay with a credit card. If they do not want to bring a credit card to the game or they just don't have one, they can also turn in cash and receive a prepaid debit card at guest services. So those prepaid cards are yours to keep. They work just like a debit card, so people don't have to worry if they don't spend the whole balance at the game. They can take that card with them and use it anywhere that accepts debit cards.
Whoever came up with that idea was pretty sharp because, they still have people to this point that their deal is, man, I don't want to use no credit card. I got cash. And so that's a good idea to have that little debit card.
I agree. I can't take credit for it, but I agree it's cheap.
Well, the other factor is, too, some people are worried about skimmers, these credit card skimmers, so it's just a safety net. But, Jenn, I want to go back to the SeatGeek account if we can. So there might be and I'm not trying to age anyone, but there might be a certain sector of the Who Dat Nation, the season ticket holders, that's not necessarily technologically driven, and they might not have smartphones. They might have flip phones. I know I've got relatives that are in their 70s that refuse to get, a smartphone, but they might be season ticket holders. How would they still be able to get in if they don't have a smart device?
Wait a minute. We got a guy that works here. He's still trying to figure out that SeatGeek account. I'm telling you. He admits it, too.
Yeah, he does.
So if someone is running into that issue, we'd encourage them to call the Saints sales and service team right away to discuss what their options would be. But if someone does have a smartphone, there are plenty of staff there at the stadium to assist you. They just need to walk up to any box office, hold out their phone to a sales rep and say, help me get my tickets on here. And I guarantee someone would be delighted to help them.
So if a fan is going into the game, say they're walking down Poydras and somebody else standing by, I got tickets, and they're actual tickets, that's probably fraud, right?
I'm so glad you brought that up. I'd be very skeptical of anyone trying to hand you paper tickets because there's very few instances in which we will be issuing those. So I would be skeptical of those.
And I know Mike, he'll pass by us during game day when we were outside. He was like, listen, we got some tickets that aren't good.
Mike Stanfield, yeah.
Mike Stanfield will always say, Mike, and make sure you either say it or Kristian says it. We got some fraud tickets out there, so be careful and tell everybody about it. So that's a good idea.
That's right. And also something that'll be new this year, whether you're approaching from Poydras or anywhere else, is there will be what we're kind of calling a first perimeter around the campus, which is where folks are going to have to provide either their proof of vaccination or their negative COVID test result. So that's kind of a perimeter around the exterior of the dome in Champion Square that is before you even get to someplace like getting ready to show your ticket. And that's to make sure that we're complying with the city and state's health and safety protocols this season.
Jenn, some people, myself included, like I took a picture of my vaccination card. I don't necessarily carry my vaccination card because I don't want anything to happen to it, and you might need to update it with boosters or what have you. We don't know yet.
Well, download it on LA Wallet.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if I haven't done that, would a picture simply in my iPhone of my Vax card, would that work?
Absolutely. If you can provide a picture of both sides of the card, that's the important distinction.
Okay.
It has to be both sides. You can show it on your iPhone. You could even bring a printout if you want, but it has to be a photograph of both sides of the card. And just a reminder, folks only need one shot to get in, or they can provide a negative PCR test result. It's important that it's PCR, not rapid, that was taken within the last 72 hours. And we want to make it as easy as possible for people to get in. We've got this process down. It's very quick. It's not going to delay anybody. And we've even partnered with Ochsner to set up a mobile vaccination station outside the perimeter so that if someone just hasn't gotten around to it yet and they want to get the shot, they can get it right there, get their vaccination card, and get inside.
Jenn, so you guys also are looking for help from the fans on naming the Saints dance team, the new dance team. Is that right?
Correct. So on Tuesday, we just announced the Saints' new entertainment team. It's going to be a mix of the region's most talented dancers, cheerleaders, tumblers. It's really just an homage to all the different iterations of the entertainment team that have existed over the last 50 years, because you all know we had dancers, we had cheer teams, we went back to dancers, and then we have all Black and Gold Patrol. And we finally were like, let's just bring them all together into one kind of like Uber group. And now they need a name. So we're asking Saints fans to go to the website between now and Friday, October 8th, and submit their ideas. And when our fans see them in action this Sunday, I think that's going to be super fun, and they're going to have lots of interesting ideas after seeing them.
Now, this is separate from the Sainsations. Is that right or wrong?
Correct. So the Sainsations are going to be folded into this bigger group. So there will still be amazing dancers on the team. They're just going to be merged in with all the cheer folks and all the fan engagement folks. Nice.
Jenn Martindale, Vice President of Brand Strategy for the Saints and Pelicans. Jenn, anything to add that we didn't ask you?
I would just say, there's a reason that other teams hate playing at the Superdome. We know how loud it can be. We distract them. It's deafening. It helps us win games. So we really need our fans to come in hot on Sunday. Let's do it.
I don't think you have anything to worry about.
I don't think you got to worry about that one.
About that. I just don't. Jen, thanks a bunch.
20 months of pent-up energy.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
do it.
Oh, yeah. People are chomping at the bit. It's like Bart Scott. Can't wait. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you, Jen.
Thanks for having me.
All
Bye
right.
now.
This is Sports Talk here on WW.